Hello everyone and welcome to this pick a card reading video. Of course, I do have to say you have free will. You do not have to forgive anybody. You don't have to not forgive anybody. Hopefully the stack you have chosen will just at least provide you with some insight and clarity into what you will and will not accept, and maybe help you realize any patterns that you or somebody else that you're inquiring about has. And hopefully you can maybe stop any repeating processes of that, any karmic processes as you wish to say, maybe. Anyway, here is stack 1A, stack 2B, stack 3C. You can pause if you'd like and if you need some more time to figure out which stack you're most drawn to. If you're not drawn to any of the stacks, that's completely fine. This just might not be the pick a card reading video for you. I have plenty of other timeless pick a card reading videos all throughout my YouTube channel. And you can also ask more than one question about more than one person, or even if it's about a group of people, like a family group or a friend group, anything like that. As a reminder, everything I talk about and discuss in this video is for entertainment purposes only and cannot be stated as fact. Alright, let's get into it. Hello and welcome to your part of the pick a card reading video. The cards here are the Temperance card in reverse, 2 of Cups upright, 4 of Cups upright, Queen of Swords upright, King of Swords upright, and 3 of Wands in reverse. And then the cards here for the Oracle cards, we have Snake, Healing, You Are a Healer, Pluto, and within the next few weeks. So, right off the bat, I have to say that it is likely that what you are inquiring about involves, I'm getting the energy that it's mainly just one person involved. And there's so much I want to say all at once, so it feels like, well, first of all, with Temperance in reverse, I actually just saw this now, that can indicate that you have a bad temper. And that would actually make sense. Like, it could be easy for you to anger or get upset, which would make sense with the rest of the reading I'm going to say. But also with the Temperance in reverse, I originally thought that you haven't likely given this situation enough time to process or to sit, and you likely haven't thought as much about, I want to say, like, the ins and outs of the situation, and maybe you haven't properly weighed out pros and cons or any, I'm seeing like a list of yeses and nos about if you should forgive this person, so pros and cons about forgiving them or forgiving them yet. And I think a lot of you are eager to potentially you apologize or wait for the other person to apologize. And it just feels like you need to, for sure, especially since this is the first card that was pulled, there's a sense that you need to give it more time for both you and the other person involved to maybe take some space away from each other and really think about the situation and how you've had an impact on each other. It is very interesting how back-to-back I pulled the Queen of Swords and the King of Swords. Also with 2 of Cups upright, I think this could indicate that it involves a romantic partner or somebody that you have a crush on. It doesn't have to, but if that's the case, this just provides extra confirmation for that. But with the 2 of Cups, there is indication that there's a lot of love and care and kindness between you two. But anyways, with the Queen of Swords upright and the King of Swords upright, I wouldn't be surprised if you and this other person think the same way, and so therefore you also fight the same way, and maybe the same things make you mad, but maybe there's just like one minor difference between why you're upset or the other person's upset, or maybe even not. But it feels like both of you are upset and both of you feel that the other person's at fault, and both of you appear to be correct, where it's like no one person is right or wrong here. It feels like both you and the other person involved are equally to blame. And again, it feels like what makes this so difficult is that both of you fight the same way or argue the same way and about similar issues, which can make it so that when you butt heads, when there's any resolution, it can be difficult. And if both of you don't like being the one to apologize, then that indicates here as well that both of you will keep putting it off until the other person apologizes. Or if you feel like, okay, now it's the other person's turn to apologize for this, even if they don't think they should. Which is not the way you should go about things, by the way. You shouldn't just apologize, or the other person shouldn't just apologize just to, like, keep the peace. If you feel like there's something the other person did that they should apologize for, then they should. In this situation, though, I feel like, and this doesn't have to be about apologizing, but I feel like I need to, like, say this, because I feel like you should probably forgive the other person, and the other person should probably forgive you, but both of you should apologize in the situation, or both of you should express, any feelings of being sorry, or even if that means being sorry for not communicating your needs effectively or communicating your emotions effectively. It just feels like both you and the other person need to apologize. But again, you need to wait this out a bit. I don't know how often you and this other person get into arguments, but I feel like with this, with the Four of Cups and Temperance card being in reverse especially, and even the Three of Wands in reverse, you should give this some time. So if you're able to spend some time, I mean, even here we have within the next few weeks, so more so within the end of a few weeks, you should maybe come back together and say, hey, I'm sorry about this, or I forgive you for this. And I feel like there needs to be an equal responsibility on both of your sides, so for both parties involved. But again, really give it some time. I would say don't worry about it too much, but it feels like with the Snake card and Healing card being here, that this impacted you in a certain way that you need to heal from and you need to process through. And Pluto is also a card that's very indicative of deep healing, deep wound healing. Pluto can also be a card about revenge, but I don't get a sense that you should be vengeful toward this person. I just get a sense that you need to do that deep introspective healing. Pluto is all about introspection as well. So with that Four of Cups, that can deal with that as well, where you should be very introspective within this time, and also with the Snake, heal yourself during this time. If there's anything that happened in the situation that triggered you, then you need to work through that and identify, like, why something triggered you in a certain way. Because even if something seems small, it seems like for some reason this was blown up into something bigger than it needed to be or that it should have been, because of both people involved, I think. So it affected you probably in a way that other people on the outside might be like, why did that affect you in such a way? But only you can know if you do that deep introspective work and if you heal those parts of yourself. And that doesn't mean that another person, if they did something that because it triggered you, that it doesn't matter. And even if it seems small, that doesn't mean that it doesn't matter. It does matter, because you can't change how you felt in the moment or how you reacted in that moment. All you can do is move forward. And it feels like the best way to move forward is after some time for both of you to hopefully be introspective. That's really a key word, being introspective. Introspection. And spending time apart. When you come back together, I think you will both be a lot more clear-headed and level-headed. And with the Two of Cups here, it really does show that you have love between each other. So you should also come from a place of compassion and also trying to see the other person's point of view. Because I think you'll really realize how there's a lot of similarities in this situation for how you both reacted or how you both thought and felt. And really being communicative will help moving forward to prevent this from happening. For the most part, for the people who chose this deck, it feels like this isn't something that should be any sort of deal breaker to stop talking to this person forever, but it is something that you should really think about and fully heal. And even if it feels like you've already both apologized or both already communicated how you felt in the moment, it still feels like after a few weeks, you'll really gain some more clarity and be like, hey, about that fight or about this thing that happened, here's how, after some time thinking about it, I really feel. It's a good time for journaling your thoughts as well. I think you're the type of person who, once you say something out loud or you get your words out on paper, it will be a lot easier for you to understand where you're coming from, but also where the other person's coming from. And again, that doesn't mean anybody's necessarily even in the right or wrong. I think it's all about how people react in these situations. Somebody could still be in the wrong, but I think the main thing is about how people react. That's the main sense that I'm getting. But with the Three of Wands in reverse, it feels like this could be a repeating pattern, like how these kinds of situations unfold. So maybe there has been a similar situation, or else this is just indicative of a similar situation potentially happening in the future. Either way, it feels like you and the other person, is interesting. I feel like going into the future, you'll always kind of have this sort of dynamic almost. So that's why you need to lay groundwork for and boundaries for what should happen if a similar situation happens. Or maybe you can both know, like, okay, if you get triggered, then just say this keyword or say this key phrase or say you need time away from me and I'll give you that, even if you really don't want to in the moment. Having clear and effective boundaries, like written out, is what I'm seeing, so that could be helpful, but having those would be beneficial for you and whatever sort of relationship you have with this person. But a key message is that time heals and that nurture yourself and then you'll be able to nurture the other person as well in this instance. And if in this situation you feel like you can forgive the person but you don't want to reconcile with them, I'm not getting that for a lot of you. I actually feel like the vibes are actually for the most part good. It's just that y'all I think are so similar that it causes a lot of tension. But I do feel the love. But of course, if you do not want to, I'm not saying like force yourself to be around this person or even forgive them. But this is indicative of, at minimum, having, after some period of time apart or to think about this, that both of you can forgive each other in this moment. Or like in the future, like for this situation. But if you don't want to get back to being around this person, then I feel like there will still be a peaceful resolution and that you'll be able to heal from this situation and that it won't be something that hopefully affects you well into the future. It feels like something that would be like, okay, I've moved on from this and now I can leave it in the past. Let's see what it says in the guidebook. So we have snake healing. This is I asked specifically for further messaging for you in this situation. So you are related to the messaging of the snake. So it says, snake healing, you are a healer. The healing gifts you possess are not actually yours. They emanate from divine spirit and are grounded in your body, and it's through your body that this force is focused and expressed. The two areas that are hot spots for this concentration of life force are your heart and your hands. Pay attention to these areas and do whatever you must to keep them energetically clear. An effective way to clear your heart and hands is to purge them by bathing with white light, allowing whatever psychic debris has been rinsed off with the light to drain down your spine and legs and out through the soles of your feet into Mother Earth. She will readily and easily accept this invisible toxic waste and transform it into new life. I do this quite often, actually. It's really therapeutic and helpful. Don't fear your healing power. It's your destiny to relieve the suffering of others, and as you do so, you transform your own suffering from this and other lifetimes into compassion and love, which is the purest expression of life energy you can have. That is healing no matter what the form is. The more open you remain, the more the master power of the universe can come through you and create miracles. Additional associations: rebirth, sexuality, transmutation, and transformation. Yeah, it feels like you and this other person involved could also grow closer together after this instance if you both do the healing work and like apologize or communicate how you felt. It just feels like coming back together, if both of you have put in that work, you'll become a lot stronger and more bonded and also be able to understand each other better and hopefully not be getting into as many fights in the future, or hopefully if a similar situation happens, it won't go down the way it went down, if that makes sense. And then again, within the next few weeks. So with that card, it's indicating to me that after like a few weeks from now, from you watching or listening to this video, is when you should come back together, or you should really have a deeper conversation about this. Or it will say that within a few weeks, like, everything will pass and it won't even be anything to worry about anymore. I will leave it at that. Thank you so much, 1A, for watching and listening to this video. I hope you enjoyed it. You can like the video down below if you liked it. You can comment down below if you resonate with the stack, and you can provide any updates in the future if you'd like on your comment. You can subscribe to my channel. It helps me out a lot. And you can check out the other timeless pick a card reading videos located all throughout my channel. I have an ASMR channel, Brittney's ASMR, that you can check out down below in the video description. Thank you so much again, and take care. Hello 2B, and welcome to your part of the pick a card reading video. So, the cards that have been pulled for you are the Nine of Cups upright, Wheel of Fortune in reverse, the Moon, Two of Swords upright. Oh, sorry, the Moon upright, the Two of Swords upright, the Magician in reverse, and Death card in reverse. And then for the Oracle cards, we have Frog, Purification, clear out the clutter, and then the South Node, and the card Communicate clearly. So I'm glad that the first card that was pulled was the Nine of Cups, because that's like the most positive card here, where it indicates that there will be a peaceful resolution, but I think that's because it indicates that you may have to speak your piece in this situation. So I don't know if you still talk to this person or not, but sorry, now I'm looking at that Two of Swords. Interesting. What are you trying to tell me, Two of Swords? Yeah, okay. So it feels like a decision has to be made here where if I were to say ultimately should you forgive this person, the answer would be no. And I feel like with the Wheel of Fortune being in reverse and the Death card in reverse, this indicates to me that this person has probably done something similar before. The Magician in reverse also indicates to me that this person might manipulate their words in the situation, or like say, oh, it's not that bad because this and this and this. Like they try to diminish your feelings in the situation, and they also try to diminish their actions in the situation, even if what they've done has been really awful. And the Moon card upright shows how much this has affected you mentally and emotionally. And I just feel like this person involved, or people involved, I think for a lot of you it's mainly just one person, maybe two people, especially with the Two of Swords here, but I'm just going to continue saying this person, but if it's more than one person, then you can just think about that in the situation. But there's a sense that this person continues to make the same mistakes, or continues to be manipulative or lies in some way. The Moon upright also indicates somebody who could be deceptive and lies and isn't fully truthful. So I think this is somebody in the situation that you shouldn't trust, and it feels like it's very draining, but for some reason it maybe feels like you're codependent with this person, and that especially deals with the South Node. Because the South Node is all about karma, and it can deal with karmic relationships. So the person involved could be somebody, if you believe in past lives, that you've had a past life with, or it could be somebody who their personality is similar to the personality of somebody or people you've dealt with in a past life. And there's a lesson that needs to be learned here with whatever type of relationship you have with this person, that you can't keep repeating the same patterns and keep falling for the same tricks by these similar kinds of people, or you can't keep just diminishing yourself in order to please this other person or these other people that are involved. It feels like you're always willing to forgive this person. Maybe you're like that in general, where people can walk all over you and you just like are very forgiving. And there comes to be a point where I think the Knight of Cups is indicating to me that you'll end up standing your ground and setting firm boundaries. And even the Frog Purification card, clear out the clutter. I cannot talk with this group. It's weird. That could also indicate that maybe it's hard for you to get a word in with this person too. Like this person always has the first and last thing to say. And maybe they're the one who holds more power in this dynamic between you two or within the group. And it feels like the words they say, they know hurt people. And that I think you know that, but so it's almost you're in a situation where you know why this, or you know that this person does certain things, but that because you know that they're like this now, you're just like willing to forgive and just be on the lookout for whenever that happens next. But you shouldn't be draining your energy just because people are a certain way and be like overly accepting of that. You have to have more respect for yourself and peace for yourself, which is why I love that the Knight of Cups upright was pulled, because I feel like in this situation you need to have better boundaries with this person. Ultimately, you probably shouldn't forgive them. I feel like this is the kind of person you probably shouldn't be around anyway, but if you do decide to still be around this person, you need to have a lot better boundaries, even with the Two of Swords upright too, where you need to make this firm decision. The communicate clearly card is right here too. You need to communicate clearly your boundaries, whether that means you forgive this person or not, and whether that means you continue to be around this person or not. Although I will again mention that South Node, you need to like stop repeating these patterns that you have with these kinds of people. So it would be best, and even in the upright, the messaging here says, remember, reconsider, and now is not the time to. So ultimately, if I had to say, and with the Death card in reverse and the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, like that can deal with endings too. So it could be more of an ending of this type of relationship or dynamic that you have with this person, or it could indicate that you put an end to the way that they treat you and the access that they have to your peace and to your energy. They cannot take your peace and energy away anymore. I really have to highlight, though, the Magician card in reverse. I feel like I really need to say this person just feels very icky and deceptive and slimy. You should really be careful about this person, whether they're blood related or I don't even know what to tell you, but just be careful about what information you give to this person. And for some reason I have to mention, like, if you bring them inside your home, I wouldn't be surprised if they're the kind of person that steals from you or like leeches off of your money in some way. I don't know how to best explain that. They could just be leeching of your time and energy as well. Maybe they don't like when you're around other people or certain people. But this person feels very controlling, and so there's a need to claim your power back to you. Stop repeating the karmic cycle with that South Node, and focus on your own needs instead of the needs and wants of other people. And there's just a big highlighting of that. I think some of you maybe are afraid to be independent or be alone, and because of that, it can be hard to leave behind people romantically or friendship-wise or even family members. And maybe it's because you also don't want other people to feel alone or betrayed either. But you have to remember that you have to prioritize yourself and your own health and well-being. And I think you need to definitely use your voice more with that communicate clearly and Two of Swords energy. You need to communicate your wants and needs more, but also boundaries, but also just like anything you have to say. I feel like you, at least in this situation, have made your voice more small or less important, but what you have to say is important and it matters. And it matters just as much as what the other person has to say, but probably even more, because I get the vibe that this person doesn't really take ownership of their actions or of the things they say, of any which way in which they hurt you or they cause problems or issues. Not just for you, but I feel like they do this for other people too. I wouldn't be surprised if you're the kind of person that cleans up after this person's mess in certain situations, or like many situations, and then you end up taking the fall or the blame for situations too, even though you shouldn't, because I would say most of the time when it involves you and this person together, like, you're not the problem. And this person needs to, it's very, I'm not diagnosing anybody, but the energy reads that you're dealing with a narcissist for sure. And the Knight of Cups indicates to me, like, I love the Knight of Cups. It's one of my absolute favorite cards in the whole entire tarot deck, at least top 5. And it indicates a happy ending or a peaceful resolution in the situation. Like, overall, traditionally, it represents, like, happily ever after type thing. But I get this in the sense of how you assert your dominance in this situation. And that doesn't mean be aggressive, of course, but it means assert yourself, stand up for yourself. And for many of you, walking away from this person or the situation. So do you have to forgive them? You can, but I would argue that it would be best to protect your peace and not be around this person. Like, some people say, like, you can forgive, but I'll never forget, and, like, that doesn't mean, you still have to talk to people. But for right now, if I have to, like, just blankly answer the question, should you forgive this person, I would say no. I would say they give off very toxic energy, and I think you'll feel a weight lifted off of your shoulders once you're able to step back from this person being in your life. And I think that other people around you, too, I'm getting a vibe that, I don't know if you have family and friends that aren't very intrusive in your life, but I feel like some people should have said more about you leaving this situation, whatever it is, leaving this person behind. But they haven't said enough. But then when you leave this situation, if you do, then I feel like people will finally be like, oh, thank God, I did not like this person, I never got along with them. Maybe you already know that inherently, but you just kind of ignore it or think, oh, it's just how this person is, it's fine. So, yeah, definitely I would say to not forgive them. But either way, communicate clearly, whether it's boundaries or communicating how you are not going to be around this person anymore, or you are not going to forgive them. And like, you could also even say why you don't, but I feel like this person, it won't get through to them why you would have these boundaries or whatnot. Like, they would be like, well, this is just how I am, and like, don't you see, like, I'm the victim here. Ugh. Anyway, so let's go into the guidebook. We have frog purification, clear out the clutter. It's time to clear out and clean up. Look for any messy areas in your life and tackle them one at a time. Don't try to do it all at once or you'll be overwhelmed. Start with one corner of the room, one area of your desk, your kitchen, or your closet, and dedicate a couple of hours to sorting and sifting. Recycle and give as much as you can. Is that what it says? Recycle and give away as much as you can. Believe it or not, this process can be one of the most spiritual experiences you'll ever have. Another area to clear out is your body. Drink lots of water for the next few days, and if possible, do a detoxification diet. At the least, eat a vegetarian diet and eliminate alcohol and fatty foods. That's just what it says in here. See how you feel when you do it. Another cleanup job is mental. Abstain from television and newspapers for a while, and as much as possible avoid negativity in yourself and others who tend to be negative. Clear out and clear up your spiritual practice as well. Do whatever works that helps you feel closer to God or universe, whether it's prayer, meditation, or a walk in the forest. It's simple. Additional associations are singing, rhythm, rainmaker, and sensitivity. That's what would be a helpful thing too, like listening to music that you love and like singing out loud. Like being free. That's a key messaging for you, is to feel free. To not feel like you're behind this cage in some ways, the way it reads and comes across. So freeing yourself from the reins or the cage or the chains or what have you. There was something I wanted to say earlier. This is why I always gotta say it instead of just... Oh yeah, if you decide not to talk to this person anymore, try not to have any of their belongings, give them back to them. Or it just carries bad energy is what I'm, especially what I'm getting, but clear out, give things back to them or donate things if you can. Sell things if you really want to, but there's a vibe that if you're not going to be talking to this person anymore, to get rid of their things. It's holding bad juju. Very, very bad juju. Alright, I will leave it at that. Thank you so much, 2B, for watching and listening to this video. I hope it was insightful in some way for you. You can like the video if you liked it. You can comment down below if you resonate with this stack at all, and you can update the comment again in the future if you'd like to inform us of any updates. You can subscribe to my channel, and that helps me out a lot. I have other timeless pick a card reading videos throughout my channel if you'd like to check those out. And I also have an ASMR channel, Brittney's ASMR, that you can check out down below in the video description. Thank you so much again, 2B, and take care. Hello 3C, and welcome to your part of the pick a card reading video. The cards here are Ace of Swords upright, Knave or Page of Cups upright, Seven of Cups in reverse, Knave or Page of Swords upright, Seven of Pentacles or Coins upright, and the Hermit in reverse. And then the Oracle cards here are Dove, Serenity, Slow Down, Pause and Breathe, Venus, and Trust. So I actually feel really light and airy, the most out of all the stacks with this stack. It feels really... First of all, I just want to say, again, slow down, pause, and breathe, what the Dove is saying. I wonder if in this situation, a lot of you have been triggered by something that's happened in the past, and so you feel like either you need to just jump ship in this situation, or you just need to, like, block people and then, like, move on, or, like, I don't know, there's just this conflict avoidance what I'm getting, but also a hypervigilance around if anything bad happens, or anything happens where I disagree with somebody, or any argument happens, an issue arises, it feels like you want to just, like, run away from it or not face it head on. And I really have to say, everything feels fine. It just, you need to, like, relax a little bit. It feels like heart's racing. You need to slow down and breathe. I think a lot of you jump to conclusions that are far out there without even getting the full context, or you just, you really catastrophize. And in this situation, there's a sense that you don't need to. There's a sense that you will be able to work through this with the Seven of Pentacles upright. That's a beautiful card that indicates to me that you will be able to work through this with this person or this group of people involved. Also, I feel like the energy could be that this is somebody who you are romantically involved with. It doesn't have to be, but I just throw that out there for extra confirmation. Like, if there were to be anybody this relates to, that's big energy of what I'm getting, especially because of the Page of Cups upright. And also with Venus here too. So either way, it feels like there's good vibes and good energy between you and this person. There's a lot of love there, a lot of care there. And so whatever type of relationship you have with this person, I definitely wouldn't say just throw it away or like stop talking to them for the most part. It feels like this person's a good influence in your life and a calming presence in your life as well. And I think somebody like you would really need that. I wonder if a lot of people who chose this, again, not only are like kind of conflict avoidant and hyper vigilant, but also just anxious in general and very much people pleasing for a lot of you. I get that vibe. But with the Ace of Swords and the Page of Swords, it feels like with effective communication, you'll be able to very quickly after forgive each other for this, or forgive the other person for anything they've done. Just because people make mistakes, we have to remember that that doesn't mean that they're bad people, and that also doesn't mean that we have to completely disregard them or stop talking to them. Of course, you have the right to do so in this situation if you'd like to, but I get a sense that you'll be able to reconcile and that you'll be fine, whatever type of relationship you have with this person. But you just have to be able to communicate. Don't just, I feel like you're the type of person that might shut down during conflict or get emotional and cry. But Spirit is saying that you need to effectively communicate why you were triggered or why you were upset or saddened by this person's words or actions. And I think it looks like the other person would very much be understanding of where you're coming from. They probably already are, but I think you just need to give them the ability to, I don't want to say explain themselves, but I guess explain themselves. I think just explain their reasoning, or giving them the opportunity to apologize if they need to apologize in this situation. There's a sense that if they don't already think that they need to apologize or like say something to you, that they will, to help ease your mind. More than just apologizing, I see this person being able to ease your mind, bring you that peace and serenity, and help you relax a bit. If this is a romantic relationship, it feels like it's a newer relationship, or it's been at least less than a year. Maybe this is like the first fight you've gone into and you're just worried that it will mean the end of this situation. If this person has made a mistake or done something that is enough for you to stop talking to them or being around them in general, then I still feel like this will be more of a peaceful resolution that will happen. I've gotten that through all the stacks, but especially with this one, I feel like everything's okay. If I just keep wanting to say you're worrying for no reason, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. I feel like you just need a hug right now. With the Hermit in reverse, that to me indicates that you're in your head a little bit too much in regards to this situation. I feel like a lot of you know you're overreacting, but I don't want to say that in terms of like shaming you, because we all react in our own way. We all, like, you're not a bad person for feeling the things you feel, but there should be healing you do for yourself to not always be expecting or waiting for something bad to happen. Mistakes do happen, and people are going to say things you don't always agree with. You're going to get into arguments, fights, disagreements with people. You just have to learn how to self-regulate better, a lot of you, and not get too overwhelmed by anything another person says. And it will all be okay. I don't even know if this person involved or this people involved really need to apologize as much as it's just that there's been a misunderstanding or a disagreement. So then that could make you feel, again, caught off guard and maybe like, can I trust this person? Even though now I say that, now I look at the trust card here. So I think you should trust that things will be okay, and also trust the words that the other person says to you, whether it's apologizing or just giving you reassurance like, hey, I'm not going anywhere, or hey, I didn't mean to offend you or make you upset, like I didn't mean to do any of these things. And I think this probably again, I'm not in your shoes, but this is probably somebody that you can trust in the situation, that they mean what they say and they stand by their words, and that they're not, I don't get any bad vibes from this person. I feel like they're probably, the other person might even be a little bit shy too, so maybe it's harder for them to effectively communicate, but I think if they're able to reassure you, that's a big word, is reassurance from the other person. And if you, even if you like ask for that reassurance and like you explicitly state your thoughts and feelings, I see this other person really being like, yeah, I agree, like this is okay, we're all okay, we're gonna be able to move past this and we won't even have to worry about this. I don't see this being anything that should be long term affecting you. And the Seven of Cups in reverse too indicates to me that there's many ways to go about this process in terms of, like for you or for them, in terms of forgiveness. There's a lot of ways people can show forgiveness, but I think the best way they can do it is through their words. Also with the Seven of Cups, I was actually just thinking, being in reverse, I feel like that just lends even more to the fact of you catastrophizing or thinking of like multiple worst case scenarios, or thinking how much this, like how many negative thoughts you have about the situation, like, oh, this person hates me now, or maybe I shouldn't like them or trust them now, or maybe they've always been like this, or maybe I'm in the wrong, or maybe we're both in the wrong. It's like, I just feel like you're overthinking it and you're over worrying about it. I think, don't try to think about it too much. Talk it out. Like, it's okay to think about the situation. I'm not saying completely turn things off, but if you are spiraling, you need to have a second to be like clear. I think actually, yeah, this will be helpful for you. Have a moment without thinking about anything. Have completely a clear mind, and then whatever pops up into your head, dissect that. So if something pops up like, oh, this person doesn't actually care about me, it's like, well, why do I think that? Well, because they did this or they said this. It's like, do you think they actually mean that? Like, have I talked to them since this occurrence to get any validation, reassurance, or like explanation, you know? So really try to like meditate, clear your thoughts, clear your mind, think about what pops up for you, and then think about those things for like taking one step at a time, thinking these things out, and then talk to this person, talking it out. I think everything will end up being completely fine. For those of you though who you talk it out with this person and you need a break from them, or you want to stop talking to them, I feel like that will be fine too. But I feel like there is a lot of compassion that this person holds for you, and that I think part of the issue is that you don't have enough self-love, and so if you practice more of that yourself, you'll be less starved of love and attention from other people. For some of you that will really hit home, but don't take that as a diss in any way. It's true, where sometimes we don't love ourselves enough, and so we seek it so much from other people, so then when other people mess up in the slightest bit, or we think that they're doing something we don't like, it's just this spiral of not only mentally attacking that other person, like in your mind being like having all these thoughts, but it's also at the end of the day it stems back to you and any insecurities you have about yourself and how maybe you think other people are perceiving you. But it feels like this is a very, again, somebody you can trust, somebody who, I'm looking at the oracle cards again, where I think you'll come more to your senses if you just take a moment to yourself, and then coming back together you realize, okay, and don't be embarrassed if you like did overreact in some way or said anything that you also feel like you need to apologize for. Like, everything will be okay. It feels like things will settle and a makeup will likely happen in some way where it won't feel like there's any animosity. It won't feel like there's any hatred, disgust, dislike, you know, any of that, any regret, vengeance, like any of those things. If you do feel any of that now, like they will all subside. And just remember that there's learning moments, and you can use this as a learning moment to further your growth, as well as hopefully furthering your bond with this person and hopefully furthering your trust with this person if you're able to get through this situation. It feels very comforting and like a hug. So let me go into the guidebook now. So we have Dove, and let's find that in here. Dove, serenity, slow down, pause, and breathe. Take a deep breath. Now take another one, then another. Feel what happens in your body as you do so. This is what you need to do in the midst of any turmoil you're going through. It brings you home in body, mind, and spirit. to that still place inside you where you can feel and hear your heartbeat and the rhythm of your breathing, giving you the reassurance or giving you the assurance that you're alive and everything is all right. There's really no need to worry or fret about the circumstances of your inquiry. There's not even a need for you to find a solution. Yeah, that's the thing. I think you'll find more of a solution when you talk to this person again. The solution will find you, but only when you calm down and stop trying to figure it out from a place of fear and anxiety. Yep, you have to trust, the other oracle card, trust, that what to do or not to do will become evident once you're able to center yourself. That way you can think more clearly, breathe more easily, find your faith, and remember that God and the angels are really on your side. Yeah, you really need to practice grounding techniques as well. Additional associations: love, soul, domesticity, and spirituality. So, let's see, is there any other context I need to provide? I think that's pretty much it. So I will leave it at that. Thank you so much, 3C, for watching and listening to this video. I hope that you were able to be reassured from me and have some insight into the situation. And I relate to a lot of you from this stack, trust me. So don't be ashamed. A lot of you, I think, hold shame, so don't hold shame. Don't be embarrassed. It's okay. It's all okay. And you should have people around you who can reassure you, but also you need to find that assurance yourself. You can't only seek it externally, have that assurance and reassurance internally. Yes, but I will leave it at that. Thank you so much, 3C, for watching and listening to this video. You can like the video down below if you liked it. You can comment down below if you resonate with this stack in any way. And you can also update the comment again in the future if you'd like to, and if you have any updates for any of us. You can subscribe to my channel. It helps me out a lot. And you can check out the other timeless pick a card reading videos located all throughout my channel. I have an ASMR channel, Brittney's ASMR, that is linked in the video description down below. Thank you so much again, 3C, and take care.